All right, welcome back to the Boys of 161st Street, episode 134. I do declare, uh,
Bankruptcy!
the Yankees suck. We haven't won a game since we recorded last. We recorded on Thursday before the last game of the Twin Series because we didn't want to we didn't want to go to bed at the crack ass at dawn. So that happened. Chapman blows the game there first time, so let's just give him a break there. But 4 runs versus 1 all season. That's kind of unbelievable. The Yankees haven't. Long story short, the Yankees haven't won a game since we recorded last. So we had to come in and record because it was getting out of control. So maybe we reset the Yankees and that does something for us. But yeah, we have 25 games until the All-Star break. The trade deadline is the 31st of July. And we have a lot of questions, particularly with this fucking shit bum team. And if we're deciding, we had this conversation before and we were kind of premature to the topic of trade deadline decisions, if we're going to be sellers or buyers or who we're going to go after, because the sky was falling and all that stuff. So it was a little premature, but we have been having that conversation for a while now, seemingly every episode. So we're not going to dive too deeply into that again. But we did kind of open the question of, if we continue to be this bad, we could be sellers. And that was almost, a little bit of a joke at first. And now it's becoming a harsh reality that the Yankees can be potentially facing if they keep playing like this. Because honestly, it's not even crazy to say. It's not being pessimistic to say. I know all of our social media recently have been very pessimistic about this team, and rightfully so. So it's not that crazy to say that we become sellers. And even if we don't become sellers, in these 25 games, we're going to find out a lot about whether we should consider being sellers. Like if we don't become sellers, that may be an issue. Like we may want to be sellers, us as a podcast, I'm saying. So a lot we're going to find out in the next month or so about this team, and I really think they're going to need to turn around in a huge way to not be sellers. That's just me. I don't know how you guys want to dive into that, but
yeah, I saw some stat on Twitter that I can pull up. I think maybe Brian Hoke retweeted it or something, but essentially he was saying that the Yankees needed to win like 65 games. They need to go 65 and 30 or something like that the rest of the season. So they needed to win. I'm going to butcher it, but essentially they need to go like 65 and 30 for lack of the exact stats in front of me. So just by saying that, like, is that even realistic at this point? Like when we're just thinking right now, do you think they can win 65 of the next 90 games that they play?
fuck no.
As the way the team sits right now, absolutely fucking not.
Sorry,
absolutely fucking not.
I didn't put that into better context. Like in order to make the playoffs as a wild card team, based on the last previous years of what the record was for division winners and wild card winners.
No, not
so
a
to
fucking
be on
chance.
pace with teams that have made the wild card in previous years.
In previous years, yes.
Okay,
I
don't
no,
think so.
no, because I mean, and it's not like I said, and I've been beating this, and we've been beating the dead horse for, I don't know how many episodes, weeks now, but we're over the last, I think I saw stats like over the last 70 something games, we're a below 500 team. These aren't new issues. This isn't a cold spell. This isn't just a slump. This is going on a half a season now. So
yeah,
I don't think we can do that with the team we have right now. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I have the tweet up right now. It says current records indicate it will take 93 wins to get to the postseason. The Yankees need to go 60 and 38, 99 win pace the rest of the way to get there, and that's just to go on the road in a wild card game.
If we went on the road in a wild card game, we would get absolutely scissored too. We'd be fucked.
I mean, we mentioned it so many times. Like this team looks lifeless, and I don't know that this team. And I briefly brought up that idea that maybe it's a good idea to become sellers if we do continue to lose the way we've been losing, and I don't see anything changing. Maybe we'll talk about that a little later part of the show, or quick fixes with the Yankees. but I don't see anything really changing right now unless I get completely wooed otherwise in the upcoming month. I see us being sellers, and I don't want to write off the season, and that sucks to even say, but it's been
look at the division we're in.
I know.
Look, that's
the
not.
Rays
it's
are the
not
number
even
one
being,
record in baseball right now.
Yeah, it's not even being pessimistic. The Rays are the number one record in baseball. Then you have the Red Sox, and then you have the fucking Blue Jays who just scored 20 on the Red Sox yesterday. Vladdy Jr. looks like his dad in his prime times 2. So, I mean, fuck. That's just
a lot of praise
the
for
only
Vladdy.
word. He looks good, dude.
He does look good. That's a lot of praise. But yeah, I was surprised to see just today, even that the Rays are like they're number 1 in the power rankings too.
Yeah,
which like
crazy.
we all
Depressing
wrote
shit.
the Rays off the same way. Like we were thinking, if anything, the Blue Jays are going to be the team to replace the Rays that we're going to really need to beat to win the division. And now we're in 4th place, where we should be at this point. Like
We should be way farther back than what we are.
yeah, 8.5's not bad considering how bad we've been playing.
No,
It's really
I
not.
mean, I was looking at it the other day. I don't know how this has changed after the shutout in Philly and the other game, but I mean, we were 26th or 27th in runs per game. And that's behind the Rangers, the Rockies, shit like that. Like that's inexcusable. You can't have a team that's built solely on offense that low this far into the season. 10, 20 games, okay. 60 something, no. Just
Over the last 100 games, too, just to twist the knife a little bit, the Yankees are 52-48. So it's not just been this year. It's been the end of last year as well. We kind of hit a lull at the end of there. It sucks. And I don't want to keep being sad on the podcast. It hasn't been fun to record. It's felt like a job, and it hasn't felt like that in over 2 years since we've had the podcast going. We were talking about before, it's getting hard to watch this team. We're diehard fans, so I can't even imagine. I mean, the Fairweather fans have left. Like they're not watching, and I don't blame them. I am struggling to watch. Chandler, you even saying too, like you started watching.
Like
the show.
I saw something the other day, and I think it's the most true tweet I've seen about the Yankees. Somebody said there's a difference between just being plain bad and being hard to watch. Like, and I fully agree with that because yeah, we're bad. Like we're pretty bad, but it's hard to watch. It's just a lifeless performance every time out there. And like I was saying, I struggle to watch to the point where I, in my life, have turned off maybe 1 Yankee game, maybe 2 that I've started. Found a new show. I was really digging Money Heist. I've been told to watch it. I was finally locked in. I was like, all right, I'm going to finish the episode. It's going to be like the second inning. This was on Sunday. The second inning of the game. And I'll be locked in for the rest of the 8.5. And I turned it on. It was like fucking 4-0. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to watch another episode of Money Heist because 4-0 feels like 28 to this team. So, and I was correct. We lost 7-0.
What me and Damon do usually at the apartment is we have the 3 TVs on the wall. We have one big TV, not really a flex to the
I'm
followers,
familiar.
but
I've
it's
been
totally a flex. Well, you're not the only one I'm
humble
talking
brag.
to.
It's a humble brag.
Humble brag, but we do have a good setup. And we have the big TV, and then we have 2 TVs on top. Command center. And usually when the Yankees are playing bad, we throw them on the top right TV, no sound, and we have Marvel or some other movie. I was rewatching the Marvel, all of the movies in order, and we would throw it on there. And then if they start playing well, we are like, okay, you guys earned the big TV today. And they haven't earned the big TV in a very long time.
8 games this year.
Oh, they have not gotten prime real estate in a while. Yeah. And now Loki just came out, and I plan on watching that on the big TV from here on out. We got a merciful off day today, so I think that was the baseball gods giving us something that we needed, and I don't think we're going to take anything with it, but dude, I don't know. Let's go to the
Well, I got one question for you before we move on there. Sure. Say you 3 and myself, you're GM for 1 day. You get to make 1 move to fix this team. Go. Rapid fire. Damon, you're next to me. Go.
Steroids.
Agreed. See, I was going to go with
steroids would be very.
Take the risk. Take the fine and the suspension risk, and just go for it. Whole team does it.
Yeah, who fucking cares?
Worst case scenario, the season's a wrap. It's already a wrap, right? You might as well make it entertaining, or at least make it interesting.
I agree. I see. Now mine was I was going to go with spider tack. Let's get everybody on the team. Get the hitters spider tack. I don't care.
It's not
What do you
regulated.
do for hitters?
It's not
though?
regulated yet.
Better than pine tar.
I'm just saying, look, before the spider tack incident, the spider gate, if you will, our pitchers were like the top 3 rotation and bullpen both in the league. Since it came out, we've kind of faltered. I'm just saying, get everybody on this team spider tack. If you get suspended 10 games, you miss 2 starts, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
We're gonna lose 8 of
that.
them anyway. So
For the spider tack thing, we are public enemy number 1.
who
'Cause
cares?
Now, did you see the thing where Gary had it on his glove, and that's how they were
I
putting
did
it back
not
on the
see
ball?
that.
It
That would
might have been
be-
Higgy. Now I can't remember. But apparently,
Honestly, you
there
know
was
what? Good
something-
for you, Gary. Way to step up and
like
take
they were
one for
putting
the
it
team.
on the catcher's glove. The catcher was wiping it off onto the ball when he threw it back.
Good.
I don't know if that's what's really going on, but that's creative.
Every position player on the team, every infielder, and fuck it, give it to the outfielders too. Whenever there's a strikeout, we'll throw it around. Everybody, we'll do a really long, like prolonged throw around. Everybody grab a little scoop, grab the ball, throw it. We'll go third, left field, center field, short, second, right field, first, back to the pitcher. Everybody get a little spider tack on it. Let's shut them down pitching because we sure as shit can't score.
Or I was doing a lot of research today and went down a YouTube rabbit hole of different ways to make like substances to make the ball sticky. And what
Semen.
So,
Is that what you were gonna say?
no.
Careful what you say next.
A little bit of Damon juice. I don't know if that's regulated. So
No, but apparently so like sunscreen and rosin is a big one. So
sunscreen would be slippery.
no, the combination of sunscreen and rosin.
It's like a paste.
Yeah, it makes
it's
it
like
a
a-
paste.
You got a
Yeah.
little
We should have
chemistry
Clint
class.
Frazier start pitching.
So what could be interesting is each player has a different component and then they throw it to the next player and they mix it and then that
And then together.
together.
Oh no, I
So-
like that. We're an analytics team. Get a little chemistry involved too.
Yeah, so we'll get
Boom.
Gio. Gio has the sunscreen. He'll throw it to Glaber, who has the rosin. He'll mix that up, and now he creates the substance, throws it back to Cole, and then there we go.
Cole, who's got the spider tack already.
And then
I mean, him
no.
it gets
perfect
stuck
game.
to his fingers.
Perfect game. We already figured out the Yankees' problems. That's it.
We don't need the spider tack, and this is good because this also it does 2 things. It also covers our tracks too, because no one person was holding the chemistry thing all together. It's everybody has the individual inputs, so that you can't point a finger at who did the crime. You're just like, oh no, I had sunscreen. It was really sunny today. I didn't want to get burned like Luke. I got really burned.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
like this
it's
person
8
over
p.m.
here.
on a Sunday. But have you ever heard of UV? Assholes, come on.
Come on. I get the most sunburn when the clouds are out, so I did.
Murph is
For those-
screaming to say something.
On the
Nah,
YouTube.
you just missed an opportunity to make a really good pun. And you missed it. It's okay.
What
You
was
said
it?
it was gonna save our tracks, but you could have said save our tax.
All right, Murph. We had to just kill it.
Mm, sorry.
Boo.
Ooh.
All right, we can cut that out, right?
No, we can
No.
leave that in. So one thing I want to. Oh wait, I didn't give my quick fix to the
Yeah.
Yankees.
So we got steroids, chemistry. What else?
Mm-hmm.
Murph, you
You got
some?
the
Remember when
rare
Giambi used to?
combo. Rare combo of like Walter White and Jose Canseco right now. So
I was gonna say, wasn't it Jason Giambi that used to wear like a gold thong when he was in a slump?
oh yeah, Nick
Yeah,
Swisher.
Yeah, I think
did
we should
too,
just get a
think.
whole bunch of gold thongs and just hand them out to everybody. Part
So
of the uniform.
superstition.
We
I
need
like that.
We need superstitions right now.
You ever see that movie Bull Durham when they all used to just pass around that one girl? What was her name? Susan Sarandon.
I think that was
That's the actress'
actress.
name.
I don't even know if
Annie
Susan Sarandon
Annie
played her.
Sayer or something.
Well,
She
they all
played
just,
one of the 2 girls there. I
they
don't
all
know.
just like everybody had to have coitus with her, and then they all played well.
I
Otherwise,
think the
they go into a
correct
big
term
slump.
is do coitus.
Annie Savoy.
I think
Annie
it's.
Savoy.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with do coitus rather than have coitus.
There was another thing that we talked about off air that we could do. What
That was
that?
the Cougar in Blue Mountain State was the same one.
No, that's what. That's there
Angels
was a
in the
third.
outfield.
That'd be good.
Yeah, outfield.
I don't know. The point is, we're fucked.
Nothing's gonna save this
Me
team.
and Henry
A miracle, a
Wattenberger.
miracle, a miracle.
We
So-
are the Titanic, and
Either it's a 3 things. It's miracle, superstition, or we need to cheat.
Oh, we could do cameras.
Bang on the trash cans.
Yeah, trash cans. So
Yeah.
they worked for the Astros, so we might as well do it. You know what?
Here's your analogy.
The thing is too that even if we do all these things, these cheating things, the worst thing that could happen is that these players get suspended. And what a joy that would be if these players didn't play for the Yankees next year. These players fucking stink. So that would be a good way to just rebuild right then and there. So
here's your perfect analogy. It's like the movie Titanic. You have the one super old bitch that lives and does all the stuff. That's what Stanton and Cole are going to be. We're a sinking ship, and their albatross contracts are the old ass lady who's going to look back on it crying 13 years from now.
Vladdy just hit his 22nd home run.
How do we get him?
We're running into a fucking... Are we playing them next series?
We're going to get destroyed.
We're running into a goddamn buzzsaw, and Vladdy Guerrero is holding the reins of that buzzsaw.
Well, the thing that sucks about it too,
throttled. It's actually crazy.
The people on the Blue Jays that kill us, it's not even Vladdy and
it's Randall Grichuk
and Lolius Gurriel Jr., whatever the fuck his name is.
Who's that fat first baseman that they?
I don't know.
Rowdy Tellez, if he even plays anymore, I think he's. They'll bring him up just to play us.
Who's pitching tomorrow? Are we going to lose by 1,000 or like?
Jin Ryu is going to hit a home run against us.
Yeah, and he can't even hit.
They're gonna pinch hit pitchers. It's like in my All-Star game when I was like 9. We were winning so much they let our best player hit lefty. That's what's going to happen against the Yankees.
Damon, do you want to play that Boone thing so we can react to that for the people?
Yeah.
And somebody mute Murph.
Ooh, put on a little filter, Murph.
I don't know what he just did.
Ken kind of touched on what I was going to ask, but do you sense there's a fatigue in the dugout, maybe a complacency as these losses pile up where guys are just almost getting used to losing here?
No.
Why not?
I know them too well, and I don't think there's any getting used to freaking losing. Hell no. Hell out of here with that.
So
I have seen that, actually. I didn't know that was what you were talking about before the show.
Brian Hoke, friend of the pod, asked a question to Boone. Brian Hoke is one of the nicer people that I know, and I'm sure Boone knows that as well, but that just shows the absolute frustration that's going through his head. And what I took away from seeing this is, one, I mean, that's a fair question. Is there a complacency? Is everybody looks like it from the outside? That was putting it nicely in Brian Hoke's words, and it shows two things for me. One, Boone knows his job is on the fucking line, and if not already lost, and we've talked about that at length before, and everybody keeps calling into the voicemail line, 914-469-2168, and they keep calling in and saying, fire Boone. Yeah, we know. He's going to get fired, not in midseason probably, but it's going to be at the end of the year. And they're just not going to pick
contract.
They're not going to pick up his contract.
Exactly.
They're not going to renew his contract, and that's going to be that because there's no use. There's nobody who's going to take the reins right now. And like I said, if they become sellers, there is nothing to do but blow it up. You can't be the Yankees, be favorites to win the division, and then sell off.
No, not
when
the
you're
division.
the favorites to win the World Series, and then you sell off with this $200 million payroll, which, by the way, is probably the worst constructed team with $200 million as of payroll I've ever seen, ever. And I don't even need to have research to back that up. I know that's the case. I've never seen a team this bad. I'm curious, for those listening, if you could find a worse structured team than the Yankees.
Find a worse structured team with $50 million.
No, okay. Well, I know for a fact the $200 million is the worst spent money I've ever seen.
Oh, absolutely.
Ever on the planet. But one more thing on this video is that, yes, he knows his job is on the line. And, dude, I think this is just the mentality in this entire locker room. And I don't think that's, you can get to a point where you get pissed off, you light a fire under your ass. I think we've got past that point, and now we're at the internally combust point. It's like you can definitely turn things around by realizing you have an issue. I think we're way past that, and now it's just like everybody point the finger at everybody else. Somebody pick it up. I don't think this is like positive.
No, not to make a mountain out of a molehill, but I think really and truly one of the biggest turning points in this season was that Odor strike 3 call. And I know that they hit like shit that entire game, but you could hear him talking in the post game that was kind of where the finger pointing started. It was like, yeah, I mean, you had Judge that was like, yeah, we absolutely love when people stick up for us, while Boone's sitting there like cowering with his tail between his legs, shit like that. And that you can kind of start seeing the emotions boil over, and then that Boone reaction right there is kind of just the tipping point. I think it's going to get a lot worse. I don't see any way this is going to get better. Not with we play the Red Sox 6 times in the next month. We're about to get skull fucked.
I mean, from Brian Hoke's perspective, like, what else do you ask? Like,
he's not wrong.
He's getting. I mean, it's a tough question, but that's his job to ask tough questions. And two, at this point in the season and what's been going on, there's not much else to ask at a press conference. Like, that's a very well worded way to say how's the energy, how's the environment, how's the vibe in the locker room, without actually saying those things. So like, it's tough. But what else are you gonna say at the end of a game where we got smoked by the Phillies?
It's a nice way of saying, have you given up?
Yeah, exactly. And I was saying, like I said before, it's absolutely putting it lightly. And I think it's just, dude, I don't even know. I had a thought, I lost it. It doesn't really matter, honestly. Yeah. That was putting it so nicely. And for Brian Hoke, I'm glad that he had the balls to ask a question like that, because we've seen some absolutely nonsense questions that come out of these interviews, and somebody just saying like, "Oh, what do you think? What do you think is going to turn it around?" We're past that, and Brian Hoke is like, "Let's get a Hoke translator and be like, he actually meant you guys fucking suck. Let's get Hoke on the pod, and he can give us the real question that he wanted to ask." Yeah, because it's just embarrassing, and I'm glad that Hoke had the balls to say it to his face, because nobody else would,
and the balls to say. To follow up and say why not, because Boone just like gave him a dead ass, just like straight answer, just saying whatever, was a no or something. And he was just like, why not? Like I'm here to ask a fucking question. And you're just giving me a one word answer. Why not? So
get the hell out of here with that shit.
Yeah,
it's like,
mean? Who are you to say get the hell out of here with that? He should have asked that a month ago.
Yeah.
We were below 500 the latest into the season. I know we hit the hot streak against the Orioles and stuff. We were below 500 for the latest in the season in like 30 or 40 years earlier. Like I said, this isn't a cold streak. This isn't something new. We should have been asking these questions in the beginning of May, like before the Astros series, when we were still getting just ravaged by other teams. Like, I don't know. Something needs to change. I've been saying it. I mean, it starts from the bottom up, or the top down, whatever you want to say. I don't care.
It starts at Home Depot. Get ourselves a bunch of spider tack, and then we call it.
Can you get that at Home Depot? I might get that. Like maybe it'll make me better at my job.
It's probably right next to the O'Keefe's Working Hands thing. That's probably where I would find it, in like near the fishing aisle, just for the working man. So I feel like spider tack would be kind of around that area. Maybe at Walmart. I know they have an aisle in the back with like hunting stuff.
They probably got some steroids in the back too, and some horse tranquilizers.
Yeah, if you want. So
you don't strike me as a big hunting guy.
No, but I go back there sometimes too, because that it connects to the athletics stuff. So like,
I played airsoft as a kid, so
I did play airsoft.
I'm very familiar with the hunting session douchebag.
Well, you don't buy the airsoft in the same section as the hunting. You buy the real BBs in that area, and I'm not gonna humor you on this. But just to reiterate, I don't want to be just sad this entire episode, but we're probably going to be. So if you made it this point, you are just as sad as us, and you wanted to drink our tears. But the 2018 Yankees, I saw we keep seeing these stats that are like, there are the optimistic people. I think it was Joe, Yankee librarian, and he said like, I think whatever team, I have it pulled up actually. It's like one team, I think it was. It's regardless of what it was. It's just all of these stats that are like, the 2009 team one time did this. They were at this point, so we could turn it around. Like the 2009 team, or whatever team in particular he's talking about in this sense, didn't have bad players. Like they were good, and they just happened to be playing bad. This team looks genuinely bad. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we check the tape at the end of the year and be like, wow, that was a horrible point in the season, and they turned it around. And I really hope that's the case. And there is a chance that happens. I don't want to be totally pessimistic this entire episode, but we do have a $200 million payroll. These players did just get paid. DJ, will is starting to come back. I think that home run that will spark something for him. I think Taillon is just bad, but that's a different story. I think Kluber's coming back. Sevy re-injured. Hopefully that's not too bad. Darren O'Day, the savior, is coming back. There are Voigt is on his way back too. There are reinforcements on the way, and maybe all of this animosity that they have in the locker room, you start. Stanton stands up and be like, "Hey, I'm making all this money. You guys are paying me to play. Maybe I should play every single game and shouldn't take an entire weekend off in Philly when my team needs me and we need to stop losing." Maybe that should happen, especially with 2 off days on both sides of that series. I don't know.
That's
maybe
not really his fault, though.
Maybe he stands up and says, "Play me. I don't need this rest. If I get hurt, I get hurt." And that's kind of the point we need to be at right now, is because this team planned on giving this extended rest and this periodic rest to guys like that because they assumed that they would be leading the division by this point and they could just mosey on into the playoffs. Now we're at the point where we're talking about potentially being sellers. We need these guys to play every day, and you're at the point where you can't try and not let him get hurt for the future. You can't play for the future and the future years on this contract because they know it's a bad contract. We've talked about that before. But you can't do that anymore. You don't have the luxury of doing that. You just need to play him every fucking day. And if he gets hurt, then that's also a reason why that was a bad contract. But at least you tried. You have to let him play and let him get hurt at this point. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt. If he doesn't, fucking awesome. Then you have a great player, an MVP caliber player, who's going to go out and change the entire dynamic of a game in one swing of the bat. And you could see when he does that, he was the hottest player on this team. He had 2 home runs, and then he just gets benched 4 days in a row. It just does not make sense.
What are you going to do in the World Series? If assuming somehow, by the grace of God, this team makes the World Series, are you just going to bench Stanton on the away games?
I mean, Damon had a good point on that.
I mean, what the hell? Also, real quick before I pass it over to Damon to, drive home his point. You were talking about, everybody brings up these other years, like 1998, shit like that. Like, yeah, the Yankees were X and X or X and Y, whatever, through this many games, and then they turned around. There's a common theme there. They all have a manager who will climb in their ass. Aaron Boone, and I know you refer to him as Mickey Mouse all the time, which is kind of accurate. I mean, he's climbed in the team's ass once in 3 years. And that was this year. It was like Aaron Boone had a stern talking to with the team. They came out and lost the next game
behind closed doors and wouldn't tell us what he said because it was probably like, "Hey guys, could you please then they lost play better? I'm going to lose my job."
They lost to the Blue Jays the next day in Florida, like 14-2. It was like, so clearly it doesn't have the same power. Like, you see Joe Torre climbing your ass. I'm like, okay, we better fucking get it together. This guy might stab me in my sleep. And Aaron Boone does it like, fuck you, buddy. Like, I don't know.
Damon, you had a good point about the whole situation because let's say hypothetically this team does turn it around and gets to a playoff series in the playoffs in general, or I mean, actually that wouldn't happen to the World Series. So in the World Series, let's say we make it there.
Well, I think it's just the point that he needs to figure out how to play. He needs to be ready to play left field. Like, he needs to play enough left field to get comfortable with it in order to be able to play during the World Series game. Like, we can't have one of our best hitters, our 4-hitter, sitting for half of the World Series.
That's Judd.
Our 4-hitters are Door.
No, that's our 3-hitter, dude. He's setting He's setting the table for us.
Yeah,
with his
but like
high batting average on base.
But like that
for like Aaron Hicks or some shit.
That can't. Excuse me. That just cannot happen. And in order to get there, like, he needs playing time, and then we need to figure out if Andujar is hitting well, where the fuck is he going to play? So, like, this is a much longer term issue that kind of needs to be thought about now. Like, I know we want to win the next game, but if we can't plan for winning a World Series game, then what's the fucking point?
I mean, my ideal World Series lineup, as of today, I would have Andujar in left, Judge in center, and Stanton in right. That's it. I mean, suck it the fuck up and play in the field.
I don't think it's him, and I think that's something that needs to be. I think they need to realize. Agree. Yeah, I think they need to realize, like I said before, just to put a button on this, they need to realize that they don't have the luxury of sitting people to preserve them for future years or even the playoffs. Like, they don't have that luxury anymore, and they need to play them until they get hurt. You need to just run them into the ground until their fucking wheels come off, or Maybe they come out and they don't get hurt. And that's something that you just have to find out on their own. You have to let them go out there and either get hurt, just to give them the opportunity to get hurt. Don't assume they'll get hurt because, and I get it, it's a good assumption, but just fucking, that is a horrible way to live out the rest of these years on these contracts, is assuming someone's going to get hurt. And that's all fine and good if we win, if we're going to make the playoffs no matter what. But if we're 8.5 games back of teams that we thought we were going to be slaughtering, you can't just fucking, I mean, because if you do that, then what? Then who's starting? Ryan Lamar will get some reps in the outfield, and we don't have the luxury of that whatsoever, and it just bothers me to no end.
Let me put it this way. Stanton has missed more games as a DH in the last couple of years than he did when he was actually playing in left field. The 1 year that they brought him in, his first year, he played in the outfield and actually carried this team for a long stretch until he had the quad or whatever injury that he played through and DH'd. The year he played in the field is the only year that he was relatively healthy. I mean, I feel like if you have a guy that big and that just, not big tall, but big because he's like a bodybuilder rather than the lean, flexible, typical baseball player body, you have to keep those muscles warm. You can't let him sit for innings, especially with this team, because you're only sending 3 hitters up an inning most innings. Yeah. I mean, you can't let him just sit there and stay cold. This isn't football. You don't have a stationary bike in the dugout where you're just keeping the quads warm. Keep him up in the field, keep him rolling around. It was the year he was the healthiest, and he was fairly healthy in Miami, minus a few freak injuries, like when he got hit in the face. It's a no-brainer to me. I cannot understand it.
I think the bigger thing here too is like, you look at this team, and what I think Aaron Boone, one of the things I think he has done well when he has a fully healthy lineup is construct the lineup in different ways and move guys around and give guys breaks and, play them in different positions and et cetera, et cetera. And that's really how the team is built. You have like these bench guys who can be starters, and they can pretty much play at any given time. And most of these guys on the bench could probably be starters on other teams. So you have these guys you have his team with a powerful bench, and then you have a guy clogging up the DH spot. Like that, it's contradicting how the team is built by having one guy in the DH spot every single day. And that's just another reason why the way the team is built is just not gonna work out. Especially when we get to a 7-game series playing a National League team, we're gonna play them at home, and we don't have a DH.
And especially when he has the worst contract on the team.
I think it goes beyond the contract though. Like I think it's more so just the construction of it and the way that having him just as a DH contradicts literally the entire philosophy of how the team is built. And I think that's bigger.
If he's going to DH, play him every day. Like, that's the whole thing. I was fine with that. We said it last episode. If you're going to preserve him by playing DH, he's got to play every day. Otherwise, then what are we even fucking doing? Because then you have to play him in the field and then give him the off days. It's either or. It's not. Putting him at DH was the solution to not sending him out every day. Like, we were going to do that so he can be sent out every day. It just makes no fucking sense to me.
Or build a team that is constructed to have an everyday DH, and then trade away some of the bench guys that have been just sitting here for fucking years, trade them away and get a better pitcher or a better everyday center fielder, or get somebody better that is constructed to play every single day, and then have a DH play every single day, and then have a little bit of worse bench players. And we don't have to rely on Tyler Wade and Lamar and fucking whoever to be a starter once in a while.
Well, like you were saying, I mean, the construction of the team, that's exactly it. We have essentially nine DHs, plus or minus a few. If you only have one guy that can actually fucking do it, then what are you doing? Then, and that falls on Cashman. And that's, if we're passing blame, which I know we're beating a dead horse here trying to figure out who the issue is. But if you're passing blame around, and that's one of the issues, and it's clearly a glaring issue, then that needs to change. Somebody has to take responsibility for an issue like that. If you construct a lineup one specific way and you can't even follow that, then why are you still here?
Want to get into the first voicemail?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you guys have been hitting that voicemail line, just smashing it, just taking out, whether you're taking out your anger or you got some optimism that you want to share with the listeners. We don't care why you called. We're happy you called. And we want you to keep calling that line, whether we're good or bad. 914-469-2168. Leave a voicemail, leave your name, where you're from, so we could shout you out. And yeah, keep it going. God knows we need it, and we need some things to talk about, and we want to hear from you guys to find out what you guys have to say about this team, because the Zoom room gets pretty toxic when we try and find out the topics we want to talk about when these guys aren't playing fucking well. But misery loves company, so hit that line and give us a call. Damon, want to give us the first voicemail?
Here we go.
Up, guys, from 161st Street. My name's Brandon Parsons. I'm from Aiken, South Carolina. I'm in the Coast Guard station in Portsmouth, Virginia. But I just want to say I'm beyond embarrassed of this baseball team. I mean, it's hard to watch. We can't even do the little things. You got causing errors consistently, and then you got Ruben Odor, who rips the double down the line. Tries to hype up the team. He's sitting there consistently, trying to tell the boys, let's get going. And then the smallest of things, little, like, simple baseball can't even be done. He sits there and gets caught in a pickle and gets caught on a simple baseline mistake. And it's embarrassing to watch this team right now. And I don't know, I'm frustrated. Something needs to be done in the front office or something. Somebody needs to do something to open this team's eyes that a change has got to be made. But appreciate it, fellas, and keep up the good work.
So allow me to take the reins here, because there's something I wanted to pick out of this.
By all means.
One, thank you for calling. Thank you for your service. And shout out South Carolina. That's where I live. But also, this kind of struck me when you were talking about it. Odor trying to hype the team up. I kind of appreciate that. And I've been public enemy number one for bitching at Odor. He has been absolutely fucking awful for this team in large part. The dude has some pretty big hits, and he's kind of a hype man. I see where he's coming from. And this team desperately needs somebody like that has some life. And I tweeted about it earlier as a joke, but people took it like I was actually comparing Didi Gregorius to fucking Babe Ruth, which if you're one of those people that took that seriously, like, come on now. What are you doing? Obviously. But that's the whole point. We need a guy like that that's kind of a hype guy that gets excited. This man bat flips a walk. He bat flips a single that barely scooted over the shift. I kind of appreciate it. That being said, I don't want him to be my everyday second baseman, but I do kind of like where he was going with that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Shout out South Carolina. I don't know. I mean, everything you said has been something that we've been saying for the entire episode, even for the past couple episodes, and it's just, I don't know, man. I want things to change. I want to have fun again. I sound so sad, and I am. It's just like, this is usually relief for me. And for everybody, for a lot of people, this is our hobby. We love this team. We're emotionally invested in them, and that's why we get upset when they genuinely do bad, and it's something that has no bearing on our lives other than the fact that we're emotionally invested in it, and it does have a bearing on our life because we are so emotionally invested in it. It does make me upset because I leave a shit job and I put my feet on the table and I watch this team for enjoyment, and I can't even have that. So I don't know. I just hope things turn around and these voicemails get happier, but I just don't see it happening at this very moment. I think there's the talent on the team to turn it around, but I don't know that.
No, you hit the sadness right on the head. I work a shit job as well. And you know what? I'm a Florida State fan, so the Yankees are supposed to be my relief. I got to go watch a fucking 5-7 at the best football team every year after being, accustomed to at least mediocrity. And now I have to watch that for a couple months. The Yankees are supposed to be my outlet until October where I'm inevitably disappointed, but I'm supposed to be happy until October. Come on, figure it out.
One other thing that I got the email from the Yankees. I think it was from the Yankees or whatever it was, PR team. Just because I've bought tickets to the Yankees before, so they send that to us. And it was like
twice a day.
It was like saying, "Hey, vote to make sure the Yankees make the All-Star team." Like, you got Judge leading the way at his position, and then nobody else. I think they said DJ was leading his position. I don't know how or why, because he hasn't done anything this year. Maybe just because second basemen aren't really that good. So he was close. I think he was third in the voting on that side. But it's just like, that was the first time in my life that I've gotten that email and not immediately like jump to it like, oh, let me help the boys out. Let me vote them in. Even the ones that I don't believe should be all-stars, I would just give them the vote, because why not? Just like help them out a little bit. This is the first time I've ever just straight up been like, if I do vote you in, I am lying to everybody.
I'm doing the world
and
a disservice.
I am just, the integrity of the All-Star game is just sullied if I vote Rougned Odor into the All-Star game, or like our everyday starters. There is just nobody outside of Judge and Chapman that belong in that game.
You know,
and Cole.
I voted for Greg Bird a couple times. As a Greg Bird voter, I'm embarrassed to vote on this current team.
But that was on a good team, so you did that because like everybody. Why
Exactly.
the team's good? Why not send the? Wouldn't it be fun if every single starter was a starter at the All-Star game?
Exactly.
At this point, at the point we're at right now, it's like, if I do this, I'm a liar.
The best way to put it
I don't
is,
mean this.
before I was looking for reasons to put them in, and now I'm looking for reasons not to. Like, I was looking for a reason to put Greg Bird in on the other teams, just like, you know what? Like, he's got like 35 RBIs. You don't just, that's just unlucky. Now I look at it and I'm like, I mean, I know this guy by the numbers kind of deserves it, but like, you know, does he really deserve it? The Yankees are making me question my own fandom, and I don't like it. It's a very wide range of emotions. Please be better.
Let's get to the next caller. Got that queued up, Damon?
Yeah, got it right here.
What a guy this guy is.
Okay, so I'm here to talk about the Yankees. My name is Carlo D'Angelo from Brooklyn, New York.
You're in the right place.
Okay, so lately they haven't been playing great. They've been playing more like shit. However, you're starting to see the bats now come alive, especially against the Twins. And, I mean, they lost today, but Joe Mayo hit a 3-run home run to tie the game. So there's a lot of positives going on, and I just think that this is going to continue. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Just got to take everything day by day. The Luis Severino news sucks. However, thank God it's not his elbow, or else that would be deeper shit. Just a groin issue, and then hopefully he'll get back to work soon. And Taillon just needs a little tightening up the screws, and he should be good. Okay, that's all I have for today. My number, I guess, I'm not going to give you my number. All right, whatever. All right, thank you guys for listening to this. Have a good night. My name's Carlo D'Angelo from Brooklyn, New York. All right, let's go Yankees. Bye now. Bye.
Well, joke's on you. We have your number because you called us. So, but I'm glad you didn't give it to the people because we don't want you getting blown up. But little did he know. He said, I got optimism. I think they'll run with it. I think they'll do well. Little did he know they would go out and lose both the very next two games, and the offense would just go nowhere and to get blanked 7-0 in the last one. But I like where his head's at. And honestly, he is right in saying that in the Twins series, the team did look like it had life. It was fun to watch. That was something that we mentioned before, is like, it's not fun to watch this team. But that series it was. If you put it that one, if you take that one series aside and you look at that one alone, it was a fun time to watch that one. But yeah, he mentioned a lot about Taillon too. I wanted to get to that.
Yeah, quickly just about the bats heating up, because I saw a stat that was pulled up on the Yes Network during the game. I meant to take a screenshot of it and then wasn't quick enough, but essentially it was saying that over the last, I want to say like week or so, that was a span of games when we actually started to actually hit the ball. Our runs per game was like 6.3 or something. However, which is like the best it's been since the whole season started. However, our pitching, our ERA per game, or our earned runs per game, was like 6.5. So even though our bats got better, the best ever, our pitching has been the worst ever. So I thought that was very ironic.
Spider tech.
But he talked a lot about. He mentioned Taillon, and I wanted to bring that conversation up because we did a post, and I captioned the post. Do we still believe in Taillon? And I think that was I don't think that was the correct caption because I don't think I ever believed in Taillon to begin with. I think he needed to earn our trust to become that guy, and I don't think because he's coming off of this great story and he beat cancer and 2 Tommy Johns and great for him and seems like a great guy, can really make the fuck out of a cup of coffee, and that's great. And I think Jameson Taillon, the person, much like Aaron Boone, great person. I think they're both very bad at the thing that gets them paid in this league and gets us happy as fans. I've said it before. I think Taillon just looks like he's easy to hit, and that's coming from me. I mean, as obviously, I don't.
I play softball once a week, and I can really figure out that hitting.
No, I'm even saying I don't think I can hit him, but I think in terms of an MLB player, he looks pretty fucking easy to hit. His shit looks flat. I don't stand in the box, but
no, yeah, I agree.
MLB players can fucking hit that, even in a very historically low offensive season. He's not doing too great. He's on, and one number too I've seen that he's an 11. He got like an 11+ ERA on the road, and he's got like a 3 something at home. So maybe he just got the yips. I don't know, man. My question to you guys is: have you ever seen anything that gives you hope that Taillon can be that guy, and maybe he's just trying to knock off the rust we should give him time to knock off the rust, and maybe that's a thing that we should do for him and send him down to the minors and get some reps there because he doesn't have it yet. Give him some reps coming back.
I'm conflicted because he has shown glimpses of being good. And, as somebody who also has 3 career softball home runs, I do agree that his pitches look, kind of hittable at times. But I think they were going through his batting average through the order, and it's the 3rd time through that kills him. So that's what gives me a little bit of hope. The start the other day aside, where he gave up 4 and recording it out, he's actually been okay the first time, and even the second time, he hasn't been bad. He's been what we wanted. So I have a little bit of hope for him of knocking the rust off. All in all, though, I mean, it's not really playing right now. I agree that he needs probably maybe some minor league starts. It worked wonders for Domingo. 7-run start aside, he's been one of our most consistent pitchers outside of Cole. But there's a little room for optimism for me just for that reason. And on top of that, you have to keep in mind, all of his injury battles aside, he's doing a whole new windup. He completely reinvented himself as a pitcher. And that is not easy to do. I mean, he's in his upper 20s trying to completely relearn a whole new windup at the major league level. There's not a whole lot of room for error there. If you're, tweaking with stuff and constantly fucking with it, it's impossible to come out there and give consistent results. And that's been his biggest battle, is inconsistency. So if you're coming out there with inconsistent windups, trying to perfect the one, it makes sense that you're getting inconsistent results.
To the crowd that was mentioning that he could get some benefit of being sent down to the minors and get reps, my question to you guys is, what would be the alternative? Because maybe that crowd is thinking of Devi Garcia coming up, and I don't see that happening. I think he needs the reps more than Taillon.
He's got almost a 7 ERA in AAA.
In the minors, too, so that doesn't look like a viable option. Domingo's up. Who else we got? I mean, Kluber's on his way back. Sevy was going to be that guy who potentially could take his spot, and now that is up in
Clark started throwing again.
But who knows that he probably needs the reps in the minors too more than Taillon.
100%. I'm just trying to bring some positive.
No, but I think that crowd was thinking that Sevy could be the one that bumps him out and gives him some reps elsewhere. But then you even still got to think Mike King is up, and I don't know what you want to do with that. Mike King's been effective, and that could be a legitimate thing. But it all falls on Sevy coming back, and Sevy coming back healthy and coming back into a starter role. And I don't think he even could do that. Now with this injury too with Sevy, I don't see him, even when he comes back, if it's not serious, I don't see him coming back as a starter. I think this all but solidifies him being in the bullpen at least to start. And if we find out that it's not that bad, then he comes back and he does something, starts twirling it in the rotation. But I don't see that being. Long story short, I think Taillon he's got trial by fire. You just got to keep doing it and see if it works. And
I think it makes
a problem we have to deal with every fifth day.
I think it makes an acquisition at the deadline if they're buyers, which is a huge if. I mean, I think if you're playing like you are right now, it's no brainer. You have to sell. But if you're buyers at the deadline, I think that makes the acquisition of a pitcher that much more, even if it's a 3-starter, because that's what we projected Taillon as our 3 or 4 guy. Even if you're coming out there getting a 3-starter, I mean, I think that is of the utmost importance, up there with getting a bat. If you're contending at the deadline, which, like I said, that is a giant question mark at this point.
Yeah, I think a lot of that also depends on how Sevy's recent injury is going to pan out, because that could be really bad. And I think that the fact that they have not told us anything just kind of makes me wonder that it's probably a really bad injury that they're just not saying anything about.
That was so sad.
But I'm not going to get into that because we don't know anything yet, and I don't want to say anything or jinx anything.
I was depressed.
Next caller. All right.
Is this our 2-parter?
This is our 2-parter.
Luke and Chandler, me, Gio, and Mancini are big fans of you. Me, Steve, listen to all your podcasts every Tuesday and Fridays. I love you, and I love the Yankees. Right now, I'm fucked up, baby. White Claw, baby, fuck. Listen, I love the Yankees, dead ass. My whole fucking life. My whole life depends on the Yankees. So
then he called back.
We're gonna take two on that one.
Part 2.
The 161 boys. This is Steve and G. Listen, we love Aaron Boone, but if you're gonna tell me that we're gonna pitch to Gene Segura with 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, you're dumb. Okay, we all love Aaron Boone, but tell me right now, you're not gonna pitch to that guy. He's a great hitter. Not gonna lie, he is. And 2, Jameson Taillon, we all love him. He has a great backstory, but we don't think he fits in New York. Yep. What we need right now is a center fielder. I would take Starling Marte or Kel Marte. Yeah. And we also need
Mitch Haniger.
Yeah, him too. And we And we also need a pitcher, which Max Scherzer, pending injury.
No.
Hopefully it's not.
No.
Prayers up.
Prayers up for Sevy.
Yeah, exactly.
Prayers up for Sevy.
Prayers up for Sevy. Of course, it has to be New York. Injury. Of course, it's got to be. But
New York,
we're gonna make the playoffs. Don't worry. But we think we need that 1-2 punch.
Yep.
In a row, this Chapman.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. It's Chapman, bro. He's having a great year. Exactly, bro. He has 5 runs on the year. He's doing good. Listen, we love all your podcasts. Me specifically, we all love your podcast. I love all you guys, and I want you to be safe. Okay?
Always, dude.
All right. Love you guys.
Boy.
Peace out. Stephen G.
North Bradford.
Late.
Yep.
Yo, I need to buy those guys a beer.
No,
Dude, that just made my week. All right, the Yankees are making the playoffs. That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah, fuck it.
We love you guys
to those
too.
guys. Shoot us a DM because we're gonna need to get together and share some of that energy.
I will come
I'll
up
I'll have what they're having because they were feeling good and whatever we need.
Dude, they had White Claws. They said it.
Just White Claws because all right. Then we all drink White Claws
That's
before
what
we
I'm telling
record.
you.
Next
Tell me
because
when
we'll
you
be
tell
positive.
me. Tell me when you guys are meeting up. I will buy a flight to New York to meet up with those guys. Those are Yankee fans.
Murph, you're muted.
Yeah.
Murph's muted.
Murph's just
So
talking to himself.
He's trying hard. Oh,
All right, never mind. All right, maybe next time.
Murphy is muted. So no. Thank you for the call. Appreciate the call. 914-469-2168. I don't know that you could just say we're gonna make the playoffs, no problem, boys. But if we do, you heard it here first. G and
think it was
Steve.
Steve.
Steven G.
I don't know. I think G was the hype man. He was like, "Yep,
Dude, he was in the background the whole time. He was singing theme from New York, New York in the background too. That honestly, that's what sold me on the World Series run now.
Yeah, I need more of that energy around here.
Absolutely. That was awesome. I mean, they hit the nail on the head though. I mean, Chapman, he's fine. He gave up 4 runs. He gave up 5. He's given up 5 the whole year. 4 run a game. I agree.
Stuff. It was just, I'm not worried about Chapman though.
No. Taillon, Boone,
our problems.
we do love them both. I mean, they both need to be better.
And it's
like you said, they hit the nail on the head.
I think the thing with JMO, before the season started, we signed Kluber and we signed JMO, and then we were both, everyone was just kind of like, they're kind of 2 crapshoot signings, and then hopefully one of them pans out, and then JMO started to have, show signs of life, and then we kind of, I think, got ahead of ourselves a little bit, and we got too invested in him too soon. He had a good game. He was, had some good stuff, and we were like, oh, maybe he can be our 3rd star in the playoffs, which I think may have jumped the gun a little bit, which I feel like now is why we're kind of so far down the dumps now about him, because we kind of spiked or peaked on our optimism, if that makes sense with him. And same thing with Kluber. Kluber, obviously with no hitter and was great, and now he's injured. So, anyway, I feel like JMO still can kind of figure it out, but I think with the team sucking and the run support, it doesn't really help. And the overall morale.
Either way, we need more Steven G. Please call in every single time you get a chance.
I don't know if we talked about this before, but it's now confirmed that Voit will be rehabbing in Somerset with the Patriots this week. So that's definitely good news to hear. It's not.
I'm a little nervous. It feels a little rushed. I know he was supposed to be like 8 weeks, and it's been like 3. So
I'll get the inside scoop.
To be honest, I don't give a fuck anymore. Just throw him out there.
Voit?
Just no, not about Voit. About the rushed or anything. Just like put the people out there.
Yeah.
Whether they're fully healthy or half healthy, I don't give a shit anymore.
No
because
steroids, no steroids.
No. One other thing, we mentioned Vladdy's home run. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but this thing is a fucking absolute nuke onto Lansdowne Street to tie it in the 9th, and it is something that you guys need to watch for the folks at home, because
that's actually one thing I want to bring up real quick just to close it out.
Why don't we into this buzzsaw tomorrow?
Why don't we have a guy like that? Every team that's seemingly a contender or like it has a guy. Like, we have Judge, and Judge is good, and he's fucking one of the best players. But everybody has an exciting guy. Tatis, Acuna, Vladdy Jr.
I think it's just lack of swag. I think it's the big thing. The
Yankees aren't allowed to have swag. Can we loosen up the swag policy? Let Clint have his hair back or something, for fuck's sake.
Clint is not the answer in the swag kingdom, because he has to be good to do that. And
it's
or do we start the narrative that he isn't good because they made him take away his swag?
I think that's a narrative I could buy into.
Yeah, okay. Anything that makes me believe more in him. I'm trying.
Damon shut down Andahar for an entire month because of it.
Listen to this call.
Breaking ball hit high and deep to left field. Tie game.
That's just Vladdy having fun out there.
We don't have those calls.
They're having a blast, and we're not.
Honestly, I can't wait to watch them next series.
I'm excited to watch a real baseball team play. So, you know what, though? It's so weird, and I'll leave you guys on this. It's so weird because it's just like they might fuck around and sweep them, but they'll lose to the Tigers, and they'll lose to... Dude, that's what the way this has been. They sweep the White Sox, and they get swept by the Tigers. They have a relatively competitive series against the Rays, and then they get swept by the Red Sox. I think we're due for... And then they play relatively well against the Twins, and then they get the fucking cans kicked in by the Phillies. We're on again, off again. It's win one, lose one. I think we're ready to win one, and that's my Monday night optimism for the team. We're the streakiest we've ever seen. Voigt's on his way back. The boys are buzzing. Darren O'Day, please come
He's
back.
thrown off flat ground.
He's
and
our
looking
savior.
mighty
He's the savior.
sexy
Please.
while doing it.
Please come back, Darren
Silver
O'Day.
Fox.
I would like to know what our record is.
I feel like one of two things is going to happen. Like you said, we're either going to sweep and it's going to buy Boone the rest of the season and we're all going to be optimistic, or we're going to crash and burn even harder. And I feel like this is the most
two options, Chandler.
No, this is the most crucial series of the year because right now we're battling not only for the East but to stay 500, which is embarrassing to say.
Yeah.
If they come out there and get swept by the Blue Jays, you think it's bad right now? Wait till Wednesday. If you get swept by the fucking Blue Jays,
Is it a 3-game series?
yeah, Aaron Boone might be. I mean, I know they're playing in Buffalo. They might ship him to Niagara Falls and just dump him in Canada. Like,
let's just win a series. I'll be happy with that. I want to be good enough where we're still contenders in the All-Star break, and then just fucking take a breather, and hopefully a little reset button, and then we come out guns blazing. That's the plan, and I'm sticking to it. And then we take some steroids. And that whole thing.
Yep. I just want to be good enough so that Steve and G can call back and be like, "I told you so."
Yeah, and they'll come on the podcast when we make it to the playoffs.
Yeah,
no, they're going to be whenever we're in the playoffs and making our World Series run. We're doing a Vegas podcast, and they're invited to. Steve and G, you are invited to Vegas when we make the World Series.
We'll see you at the parade.
If you're buying tickets, Chandler, I'm in.
Boom, done. Hotel.
That'll do it from us. Thank you, as always, for tuning in to the Boys of 161st Street. This has been another episode of our podcast. Morale's low, but we'll be here. That's the one thing you can count on. We'll keep pumping them out. And since you're already on the podcast app, if you are on the podcast app, give us a 5-star rating review. We really appreciate that. Helps us create more of this fantastic content, and you can keep drinking our tears if you want to. If you don't like just audio only, we do have the video plus audio on the YouTube. Bronx Pinstripes YouTube, go check that out. Honestly, a little bit of a tease. We're going to start doing this very soon because this could actually take the place of a lot of the tears because I'm pretty tired of talking about this Yankees team just being bad and trying to figure out why they're bad. So we're going to start doing trivia against you guys, the fans of the podcast, and we're going to have questions sent in by you guys, for you guys, with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do we could do a 2v2 Family Feud style, and we could do, it's good. We're going to call it like Beat the Boys or something along those lines. Chandler or myself will be the hosts, and I'll dress up in a suit and tie, and we'll have a lot of fun with it. You guys can come on, play with us, and not in a weird way. We'll cut that part out. Play trivia with us, and it'll be a lot of fun. And so look out for that. And in order to be on it, maybe we'll do something like you got to be subscribed to the YouTube page or something, just to give us a little bit of a.
Maybe leave a review.
A review.
Helps everyone. It'll stick out more. That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying. So, love you guys. Let's hope the Yankees don't get steamrolled by that team from Toronto that plays in Buffalo. All right. Bye.
Fuck us.
Bye.